Described as windows into the culture and history of those who came before us, foodways expose changing tastes through time, periods of both bounty and hardship, times of celebration and resilience. This entwining of food and culture shapes an identity that is unique to the Chesapeake Bay region. The men and women who harvest, process, and transport the Bay's bounty connect us as seafood lovers to a long tradition, the Chesapeake identity. By exploring the food history of the Chesapeake from bay to belly and tidewater to table, we can better understand the region's past, present, and possibilities for the future. The Chesapeake Bay encompasses an area 200 miles long from Havre de Grace, Maryland to Virginia Beach, Virginia. It is an estuary or body of water fed by freshwater rivers and streams, which eventually meet and mix with salt water from the ocean. Our bay is the largest estuary in the United States and the third largest in the world. This unique ecosystem provides for 3,500 species of plants and animals. Some long-admired staples of the Chesapeake are the blue crab, food fishes like rockfish and shad, and the eastern oyster. The people who bring these foods to our table are known as watermen. It's not often a job people seek out, but a lifestyle most are born into. Taught by relatives from a young age and taking great pride in carrying on the family tradition.
I grew up in Guinea and Gloucester, and just about everybody down there when I was young was a waterman, probably a high percentage of them. And the younger kids, when they would get 12, 13 years old, all of them had smaller boats. They would have a few crab pots. Just kind of, it was kind of a lifestyle, you know, you look forward to it. I would work in the summers before I even had a driver's license, a young teenager. I'd work with some of these older guys. You know, if I didn't work with Dad, he would get me a job with one of these older guys he knew, and they would stop by Dad's house and pick me up in the morning. I just kind of, I guess that was like my apprenticeship. I started getting into it, and when I got out of school, I worked as a mechanic for a year and a half, and then I went back to work with Dad, and I've been there ever since. I was 18-year-old then, and I've stayed there.
The Chesapeake has been home to diverse populations for thousands of years, supporting a thriving indigenous community, including the Susquehannock in the north and the Powhatan and Nassaman in the south. The region's ability to provide sustenance, cultural nourishment, and life has long been acknowledged.
Water is the focal point of my life. Everything that we do revolves around the water. You know, all three of my companies, the marina, the dock building, the seafood company, all has to do with the water. So for me, it's a way of life.
For many years, people believed that the name Chesapeake itself was derived from an Algonquin word meaning Great Shellfish Bay. Though this is no longer believed to be the case, its longevity in popular culture shows the deep connection between seafood and the bay's residents.
You know, when they make the crab and they put the cheese and the different types of seasoning in it like that too? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that too. Like I was saying, when we used to get the crabs and spread them out on the table, we get dozens and dozens of crabs. Yes. And we'll spread it out on the table and put all the good seasonings on it, and just everybody just go for broke.
Today, over 18 million people live on land that drains into the Chesapeake Bay. Everyday actions from driving across town, fertilizing lawns, and recreating along the Chesapeake shores can have dramatic impacts on the bay.
Born and raised, born in Baltimore, raised in Annapolis. Lived on the water my whole life. I was a waterman and I worked hard, and the bay started declining. We noticed that in the summer months, the crabs, were catching 50 a bushel a day, and then every year it would get less and less and less and less.
Modern-day watermen and packers continue to provide seafood as others have done in past generations, through long hours, back-breaking work, and resilience. Watermen are, by the nature of their jobs, very adaptable. In the summer and fall months, when crabs are most traditionally enjoyed, they crab. In temperate winter months, they harvest oysters and plant spat to reseed oyster beds for future years. In the spring, before crabs are in season, they catch a variety of fish and eels. In this way, the seasonal changes of the bay impact not just the species who reside in the water, but also the humans along her shores. The food of the bay has shaped a long history of cherished cultural and seasonal traditions.